Hi there, Shingirai here again with another update on portfolio performance over the past week. In a relatively risk-on week, we've seen portfolio returns ranging from portfolio 4 returning 1.96% down to portfolio number 1 returning 0.24% on the 1-week basis. And we also did see that surprise uptick in the performance of Chinese equities on that reopening hope. And again, news this morning that there was some speculation around some key level policy support for the worrying property market, and that would see our Bailey Gifford China positions up more than 14% on the 1-week basis. In terms of headwinds, we did see headwinds for our Hypnosis Songs Fund investment trust down 3.8%, alongside our US equity positions 1.77% in the miners, and LNG All Stocks Gilt Index Trust down minus 1.1% on the miners as well. On the back of news just last week, the Bank of England and also the Federal Reserve Bank in the US raising interest rate by 75 basis points apiece and affecting these more interest rate sensitive parts of the market. But most notably here, I would argue that we've had a relatively risk-on week as sentiment has seen stocks across the UK 100, the FTSE 250 and European equity positions up more than 3%, which I think is a relatively risk-on week. In terms of quarter-to-date performance, again, all 10 of the CBAM portfolios outperformed their respective benchmarks with returns ranging from 1.26% for CBAM 1 up to 3.96% on CBAM 5 V2, continuing with that risk-on narrative that we've seen in the transition into the fourth quarter of the year, largely driven by earnings at the beginning and then a bit more we've been seeing from policy changes as we go further into the quarter, and just looking ahead from earnings and guidance from companies. I would see HSBC FTSE 250 on the back of some stability, political stability in the UK, up 9.74% as well, with Allianz European rebounding from those lows we'd seen from more than 50 to 70% derating in company equity prices, and investors beginning to see a bit of that bottoming out trade, and Allianz Continental up 8.79%, alongside JP Morgan US equity income up 8.33%, as the sterling obviously has strengthened coming into the quarter and supporting that hedge position that we've been talking about so consistently coming into the year. In terms of detractors, unfortunately, that 14% plus performance we saw from Chinese equities was not quite enough to see Chinese equities back in positive territory on the back of that massive sell-off leading on to the 16th of October. Chinese Communist Party's Congress at the beginning of midsection of October, and we're looking for that reopening story, which the market never really got going, and that would see that sell-off of 8.43% for Columbia Threadneedle, 7.17% for HSBC, and again some interest rate sensitivity there from the Hypnosis Investment Songs Trust, down 5.05%, alongside other interest rate sensitive sectors such as clean energy, multi-asset thematic fund, US government bond yield, US government treasuries, and also gold, which tend to not do well in a rising interest rate environment.